but playing Kindred into Poppy can immensely backfire. I think this is a lot safer, even though obviously trying to engage with the Xin Zhao is still going to be hard, and the engage of KT is really lackluster. The amount of prio and early skirmishing power that this composition have is absolutely bonkers.
And how well they can force these fights with their Xin Zhao, with their Kalista. Either way, guys, we are ready to hop onto the Rift for game number 1.
Especially with the extra damage that First Strike does provide you. We'll see to what extent they actually get to that point, because I do think that, like always, getting to that point on the Corki is going to be the toughest thing, as Deft and Barrel playing aggressive early, as they should. But not the best of trades for them. They'll end up throwing down an Ignite. But do expect them to be fine, and they still have control over the wave here, so should be able to, at the very least, keep the pressure on this bot lane duo.
Yeah, I mean, Carriot takes the teleport on the Nautilus, so he doesn't have a combat summoner, and
Owner might fight over this crab.
yeah.
We do see Faker, though, still on the back, and maybe Pioshik doesn't even care. Does have Karma here, though, so Owner needs to be mindful, but not going to make the rotation.
Yeah, I think Owner's just going to take the crab. I mean, he might show up here, and he just smited the crab, so he's got to wait for that second smite. But yeah, he's just going to let it go. And Pioshik will be able to get all 3 of these early grubs.
I like the call, actually, because Pioshik already got a crab. There's no need for him to go too ham. This allows BDD to maintain pressure on his lane. So far, so good. Like the Dark Seal pickup as well. My opinion, a really underrated item on Udyr. He actually does benefit from these AP ratios, as I'm pretty sure Owner was able to get that with the smite.
Yeah, he definitely did. And now Faker's coming over here, but there is BDD right in their face, so not going to overcommit to this because Owner is, rather Pioshik is so low. Owner, though, is going to overcommit to it and flash on top of a guy who just runs away from him. And does flash as well, so
in this fight, without getting locked down, do a lot of DPS, that could be game deciding. T1, they're going to take the risk.
I mean, they are going to go for it. They open up on a Xin Zhao, who is going to press his ultimate ability. As now, helicopter coming out. BDD is flung into the air as the package does isolate one member. As Deft will flash over the wall, though he gets away. And now trying to save Faker's life. We do have an ult on top of Pioshik, who doesn't have his anymore. And we're at a standstill once again. And I think this will favor KT with all the low health bars here on the side of T1. And a lack of package. So KT Rolster, no kills, but they do win the fight, I guess.
As a result, T1, again, colossal win here, picking up an early dragon.
You know, not a massive comeback for T1 or anything just yet, as Beryl is going to miss the handshake here. Zeus flying very fast with his World Ender and will actually flash away just to make sure he doesn't go down to Deft.
Don't want to die here. Give over a kill to the Kalista, who hasn't been able to build that big of a lead. Some blades, as well as a small CS lead over her farming counterpart is Poppy.
Ooh, not going to hit Pioshik, though. It will come down to a smite fight. Who's going to get it? It will go the way of, well, Kalista, who's got her own smite in a way as the knockup does come in. And look at that combo as immediately Deft is going to go down. The BDD is in a lot of trouble here as well. The Renata ult was pretty good, but I think now that Faker shows up, they are just down a member and down any sort of damage. The bailout comes in on a Pioshik, but way too late to do anything to change the fight, and T1 will pick up the fight.
And the Kalista, and then look at the itemization as well on the other end. There's double Hex Drinker available. There's a lot of early MR, meaning that Pioshik and Deft are at a lot of risk.
Dive into Udyr here. That's pretty bold out of the side of T1, although with the Senna ult on top and no flash or ghost for perfect, it does work out, and the package just kept him in place. Generally pretty hard against the Udyr. I feel like if maybe he just ran at them instead of back over the package in a way, maybe he would have been in a better spot, but I do digress as Deft is in a lot of trouble here. He was just existing in the mid lane, but that wasn't allowed, said T1.
He just tried to get a turret, man. He just wants to cross map.
Wasn't allowed.
You already get the kill on perfect. Give him something.
No.
I don't think they have enough time, Valdez.
Yeah. They might still send it. I mean, they have a lot of Kalista sticks in this Baron, but no, they're just going to back off here. They get the TP out of Zeus, and T1 say, thank you for the leash. We're just going to continue this objective. As Owner holds on to the helicopter, he's not going to use it just yet. Perfect trying to get that flank as Faker goes over the top, and it's just going to flash away from everybody, as meanwhile, POG's just isolated on the backside of this fight. They do get Faker, but the damage is already done here as Keria gets a massive 3-man knockup with his ultimate, and that just might be the nail in the coffin. KT are being wiped up here with a triple kill from Zeus, as Perfect might be the only one to get away, but a big team fight win going the way of T1.
And this one is, barring a complete collapse of T1, this one is pretty, it's pretty over, Valdez. We'll see if they can kill Zeus. There are no TPs.
I think they can, 5v1.
Can they?
I think Zeus is in a lot of trouble here, right? That's an insane amount of damage going into Deft as he got that Q3 down, but it's 1,000 gold into the hands of Deft.
As well as the locket here. POG on a flank angle. It's just so hard when you get to this point of the game because Faker is going to poke you. Guma has his summoners available. TP coming in.
Keria's like, yeah, I don't really care about the karma in this case. Ult is going to be utilized on the Perfect, and Zeus is just so huge, and he will take him out. Gets that slow below the 50% mark, and yeah, this inhibitor will go down. Doesn't look like Faker's got a package at this point in time, so they're not going to overstay their welcome. Yeah, and this is over Ocean Soul, so let's see how this does work out for them. As Perfect's doing a good job of trying to get in there, but now he's getting out of there. Oh, God. As the massive package comes in, and Deft is just dead immediately. The poor guy has no chance in this game, as POG is going to go down as well. That's 3 of them out of this one. We got TPs all over the map. As Zeus will be looking for the kills, while Faker is looking for the kill on the Nexus. TP coming down here from Perfect into the base. And he will try to defend as Owner's just running through the turrets. And yeah, this one is a done deal. Has been for a while, guys, as Faker nearly goes down. But he's just fine in the end. T1 are playing with their food just a bit here. Guma trying to get those max stacks. He's going to end the game at 133 in this one on the Senna, which was given over to him. As I say that, he's getting more and more. 136 as the Nexus will go down, and T1 will take game number 1. Keria, 300 wins, 3rd support to ever do it in the LCK. And he's just going to try to catch up to Lehens eventually.
Relatively, compared to the length of the LCK, Lehens and Keria have been in the league that they've been able to pick up that many wins. Also, honestly, no idea who gets POG in this one. Zeus obviously had a very quiet early game, but then popped off as he always does. I think if you feel like all your eggs are in the T1 basket, it might not be a bad idea. I think the main issue with Kench specifically is that into the amount of AoE backline dive that's available for T1, it might feel like it's a bit too much. So they're going to go with Alistair instead, still allowing a way for Keria to provide peel, but might have a little bit of a better time.
Yeah, maybe some more pressure onto Perfect. Going to be curious to see how he will play in Zeus this time around as we're ready to hop onto the Rift for game number 2. And look at this. Faker against BDD and against Deft. These 3 guys have all played 100 games against each other at the same time, in the same game. Varus.
Yeah, it should have been Jinx for meta consistency, really.
Or at least Caitlyn.
Oh, that would have been good.
It's fine. Varus is also
decent amount of early laning pressure, and then chain your CC into barrels. That's good.
Yeah. Guma just kind of stepping into that one, and Barrel's immediately there to punish him. He did go for the greedier Smolder start, which is the non-Doran's Ring and Q start, as BDD is in a lot of trouble. Oh, he's just dead. Okay, that was quick. Owner comes up, clears the top side of his jungle, has red buff, flashes on top of BDD.
And he just gets back to clearing his jungle. That's optimal pathing.
Oh boy, Deft in a bit of trouble here as Keria sets it up, and already we have KT in trouble. As Deft will survive, which is very good for his sake.
Ooh, might actually end up working out there, because Deft not dying is quite big. Because a Yeastil or a Barrel rather still has a sums available, whereas the same can't be said for Guma and Keria. Yoshik trying to fight Owner here. I don't know about that one.
Owner doesn't have Smite, but certainly Owner is in a much better spot health-wise versus Pioshik. Although Beryl is trying his best to try to zone him away as Pioshik has to flash, but now the hook comes in and Gooma's over the wall. Deft is in some trouble as one auto will get it done. Pioshik is super low as well. Oh God, I wanted this game to be more competitive. Not like this. 3 kills into the hands of T1 in the bottom lane at 3 minutes into the game, which is Q first, not going W to help out in the lane, not going Doran's ring, and he gets away with it with flying colors. Now, Keria might not get away from this one as he will have to sacrifice himself to try to keep Guma alive, which he will do. Nice little gank set up here by the side of KT.
This is how the comeback starts, Valdez. So seeing him actually utilize a counter matchup is quite cool. Pioshik, you're a level down, but Beryl is there.
He's got Beryl this time, and you know what? Owner's in a lot of trouble as he does have his flash, uses his ult. On top of that, he's going to queue over the wall, and he holds on to his flash. Doesn't even have to use it, as BDD will have to divide away from Keria, who's being very annoying there. BDD was not quite able to help out in the trade, but now with Perfect and the Prile from the top side, they should be able to take this red buff away.
Might be enough to start equalizing this goal score.
Oh boy. Well, we got Deft in a lot of trouble. He's going to run forwards because he can't run any other way.
Well, there was
Faker's going to pick up that kill.
It was just not the one we wanted or needed. Faker, really good roam there. That's really what we're looking towards.
Generally, the team with Smolder is trying to hold on and not lose the Chemtech soul, or the soul at all.
I need some leeway.
Uh-oh, we got Perfect in a lot of trouble here. He's being CC'd to death, and he will get his hop off and immediately get ulted in the face. Doesn't even bother flashing.
Nautilus ult, the backline dive of both Perfect and Pioshik, and then BDD with his shuffles.
Beryl is in a little bit of trouble here. The Shockwave is going to miss, though.
Well, that's big. That might be enough for KT to start stacking a dragon. If they want to contest heavily here, no Shockwave available. Could be an angle.
But yeah, KT is going to set up for this objective. We do see that T1 are hanging around. Beryl is very much behind enemy lines.
They don't know.
They do not know about this, but now they're going all in onto Owner, gets knocked over the wall, but Zult back over, still goes down though. Very nice snipe here from Deft, but BDD is in an awful spot in the front line and was in a lot of trouble. Perfect in the mini-gnar as a 3-man knockout comes in from Keria as he knocks Deft straight into the danger zone. At the same time, Keria really shoring up the end point of that fight. And now KT is just on the run away from this tiny little dragon that is getting very fed. Already 163 stacks now as Keria is looking for a bit more. Not going to hit the knock-up at the end of this fight, but still a winning fight for T1 as Faker will take a mid-tier 1 potentially.
Some serious heavy lifting from Keria in that fight there.
It's going to be pretty difficult. Also, the fact that Zeus now is fed, you got Owner who's pretty fed, you have Faker who is doing a great job in mid. So there's just so many threats on the side of T1 that even if you do take out the Smolder.
TP for red?
Yeah, looks like a TP maybe for a game-winning fight, as that is an interesting mom call. Mom got a little bit distracted. But that's fine. Everybody on the side of KT just going to flash out of there. At least Beryl will. Yeah, it's pretty well timed, but look at the damage that's coming out already on a Pioshik. He just gets caught out in the front line as Bob will be called down on top of Deft, but we do have Owner in a lot of trouble. They do isolate him and essentially see him to death. He was not able to flash out of that one. And now T1 have to reconsider their options here in a 4v5. They have done a lot of damage to KT, but that big pick onto the jungle could be nice for KT to at least delay things for now.
T1 is one of the only teams that consistently does this, where they are a member down and they're still contesting this aggressively. We do have the TP coming in from BDD.
And they're so healthy.
And they are still, again, a member down. Faker doesn't complete his back, does almost have teleport, but not quite have it available. And looks like T1 decide the better of it. Although, I'm not sure. No, TP getting, or back rather getting cancelled. Owner's on his way back.
Now let's see how this one goes.
Will
they even try to steal it away? There's a kind of half-hearted Q from Zeus, but Yeah, now they're just going to run towards the Baron and threaten it at least. They have owner up.
But can they move in? Vision Cone gonna let them know.
They're going to move in together as a team. Look at Carria's position. He's going to be spotted. He gets onto that back line. Deft is in a lot of trouble. They dive very deep for him, as Mom will help out, but they don't take out Deft just yet. But it is going to be him eventually going down. BDD does have some nice damage in that back line, but now he's all alone here. Zeus getting pretty low, but BDD will eventually get executed as Smolder. Guma will pick up the triple, as Perfect is the only one left alive. And he will just run away, sadly. And decrease damage.
Yep.
Below 50% health. As Cassante really is going to like that, actually. So there is one champ that really does love the Chemtech Soul on the side of T1. And it is that man in the top lane here. As T1 trying to go for the mid turret. They do not have the Baron buff at this point in time, but they don't seem to need it, as they're just going to utilize that Chemtech Soul and the power in their wallets to eventually take this one down. They also have 6 Void buffs, which is actually helping take down the objectives, the structures here, as Beryl is in some trouble. But the damage coming out from Perfect is actually pretty nice, as now we get a big knockup. Immediately Beryl is taken back into that back line, as Smolder's just doing way too much here, as Mom will be called down. BDD, though, still alive, looking for his angle. He tries to go for it immediately, just gets bursted down 100-0, as that looks to be the end of the game. BDD tried so hard to find that 1-0 moment like he normally does, but it doesn't look like he was able to do it this time around. Guma just collecting kills. Owner gonna steal that one away. But it looks like T1 has done it, guys. 2-0 on the night, as they will take down the Nexus turrets. And the Nexus in a couple of very one-sided games against their telecom opponents, as they're just having fun with their food here at the end. 2-0 in this series.
And where he does the most damage,
Yeah.
he's still getting roasted. Clean 2-0 here from T1. Not a whole lot to see.
Yeah. Actually, clean 2-0, nothing to see here.
Yep.
Like,
thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun for the POG Interview translation. We are here joined by Faker and Carria after their win up against KT Roaster. It was the telecom war that everyone was waiting for, and it's a clean 2-0 sweep for T1. How do you feel, Faker? Well, the previous Nongshim series was a little bit rough for us. It was 2-1. So I was looking forward to getting a cleaner performance and game score today, and I'm really satisfied with the outcome that we managed to achieve. A clean 2-0 game score and also the performance. Same, I'm really happy that we were able to showcase a cleaner and better performance today. Faker, when Orianna was removed in the first game, you decided to choose the nerfed Corki. Did you feel the impact of the nerf in this current version? I mean, it is nerfed, but it's not that critical. So depending on the situation, Corki is still viable. With that win in game number 1, your Corki is on a 20-game winning streak here in the LCK. Including MSC, it will be 21-game winning streak. I don't know why I keep winning on Corki, but it feels good to win every time. Carria, in the first game, T1's comp was all about the late game value, especially around the Senna Nautilus comp. And Senna Nautilus is also on an 8-game winning streak. I wonder how T1 is evaluating Senna pick right now. I mean, Senna right now, I think all the other teams are also thinking that it's a good pick. So we also think that Senna is a OP champion. She is really strong right now. Faker. There was one moment in game 1 where KT tried to kind of sneak away the Baron quickly, and T1 was able to tell it really fast and deny this. Tell us about the decision making around here.
이때 뭐 상대가 일단 아래쪽에
Well, at this
안 나오는 걸
point,
보고
we
가만히
were
있고
not
안
able to
하고
spot anyone on the
그때도
bottom
얘기를
side of the
하고
map. So we were like, obviously this is gonna be Baron. So we wanted to, chase them and punish this play.
상황이었던 것 같습니다. 그래서 또 좋은 결과를 만들어내시기도 했는데요. 아니 T1은 제가
Well,
인터뷰를 할
T1,
때마다 기록에 대해서
Every time you guys do an interview, there's a record that we have to celebrate together. And today, Korea, you are able to achieve your 300th LCK victory. Congratulations.
벌써 300승 한 게 되게 믿기지 않고
I cannot believe it's 300 wins already in the LCK.
분들과 많은
Thanks
팬분들이
to
있었기에 가능했다고
The
생각했기
amazing
때문에
teammates that I was able to
너무나
perform
감사하다고
together with, and also all the support coming from the fans, I was able to hit this milestone. Thank you so much.
페이커 선수도 축하의 한 말씀
Baker.
부탁드리겠습니다.
Any words of celebration for Korea? Congratulations, said Faker very politely with a bow.
한마디였습니다. 캐리어 선수 오늘 베릴 선수와의
Korea,
대결이
also your
많은
matchup
분들이
up against
기대를
Burrow
해주셨습니다.
raised a lot of
오늘
expectation
준비하면서
for
어떤
this
점을
Saturday
좀
showdown as
기대하시는지
well. What was the
궁금합니다.
focal point for the matchup today?
KT가 이제 표시 선수랑 벨리 선수에게서 힘이 되게 많이
I think
나온다
KT,
생각해서
their
이제
biggest
그런
strengths
부분을
comes
잘
from
막으려고 노력했고
Pyosik and Barrel,
또
so I wanted to make
그런
sure
점을
that we can kind of shut it
충분히
down. And
저희가
as long
승리할
as we
확률이
can,
올라간다
deny
생각해서
their,
그 점을 준비 잘한 것
powers,
같습니다.
we will be able to win the game and series. So I think that kind of worked today.
이 세트에는 또 이번 스프링 처음으로 알리스타라는 픽을
And Korea, you
뽑았습니다.
played your first
스몰더
Alistar game
알리스타를
this season
합쳤을
in
때
game
조합의
2.
장점은 어떤 거로 판단하고 계신가요?
Tell us about the concept behind Smolder Alistar duo.
원딜이 그런 밸류가 좋은 챔피언들이 나올 때 웬만하면
When you
서포트
play
탱커
like late game value picks like
들이 자주
Smolder,
나오는데
you get to
이제
play a lot of
그때
support
뭐
champions. So
편인 것 같고
I think
이번에는
Alistar
더
was
좋아서
the
뽑았던 것
pick
같아요.
that kind of suited
조합이
our
좋아서 뽑은 그
composition best.
알리스타로 꿈에 나올까 무서운 장면을 하나 만들어내셨습니다. 그 장면도 같이
And
보도록
we had some
하겠습니다.
fantastic outplays from your
네,
Alistar
플레이
in
굉장히
game
좋았는데요.
2.
순간적인
Let's take a look
판단
at this
어떻게 하셨는지
replay.
궁금합니다.
How did you see that
사실
angle?
이제 저희가 전부터 설계를 바로
Well,
끝까지 먹을
even
생각 안
prior
하고 싸울
to
생각이
this
있어가지고
point,
실질적으로
we were setting up for a play around Baron. We were not actually trying to get the Baron. We were just trying to set up a team fight around here. And I think because we were so well prepared for the fight, we were able to kind of take a very clean win over there.
또 하나의 기록이 있습니다. 이제 페이커 선수가
And we have another record
공교롭게도 BDD
today.
선수,
Faker,
선수,
interestingly,
선수와
you
모두
had your 100th
백점을
match
치르셨거든요.
up against BDD and Theft at the same time. Looking
어떤
back,
좋은 기억들이
are there any
있었는지
memorable
궁금합니다.
moments from your encounters with
좋은
these two
기억은
players?
네, 상대팀으로 네, 같이 경기할 수 있다는 게 저는 좋은
I mean,
기억인
just
것
being
같고,
able
이렇게
to,
또
compete
조건이나
with
같이
them
할 수 있다는 상대가 할 수 있는
means
상대가
a lot
있다는
to
건
me,
되게
and
좋은 축복이라고 생각해서
it's a blessing that I got to
싶습니다.
play
네,
together
LCK
with those
팬의
two
한
talented
명으로서
players
저도
for
이런 명경기를
100
계속해서 볼수
games.
있다는 게
It's just
새
amazing.
선수에게
So I want to say
감사하다는
also
말씀을
thank you
이제
over to
전해드리고
Deft
싶습니다.
and BDD
이렇게
for
1라운드
making
첫
this
경기를 승리로 장식하면서
beautiful
정말
moments
많은
together.
팬분들이 지금 기뻐하고 계실 것 같은데요. 마지막으로 T1을 응원하고 있는 팬분들을 위해서
And lastly,
한 말씀
anything you want to say
부탁드리겠습니다.
to all of the T1 fans supporting you
이제
guys?
또 다시 시작했는데
Yeah,
1라운드 때 저희가
round 2 just started.
패배했던 젠지 상대로도
And
이길
I really want to make sure that we
좋은
can get a
경기로
revenge on
보여주고
Genji, the
싶습니다.
team that we
네,
got defeated
좋습니다.
by in
이어서
round
캐리어
1.
선수
And I hope to continue our good form and performance.
좋은 경기력으로 계속 유지하면서
I hope we can maintain a great form throughout the second round and also playoffs and finals. So we will keep working hard.
네, 함께 응원하도록
That was
하겠습니다.
the end of the
지금까지
interview
페이커
from
선수,
Korea
캐리어
Faker
선수였습니다.
on the side of T1 and back to the space. Thank you.